Welcome to the PGM Happy Hour. We are at Graphics Pro Expo in Charlotte. Cheers! You have to drink.
Bad luck not to. Suck it down.
There you go.
I didn't realize I was creating bad luck.
You
for the
cursed
group.
the podcast.
Great.
We'll have to do a seance
gonna
later.
We're screwed now. We're screwed.
Is that a Ouija board?
We can all sit on your twin size air mattress.
Yes, I am sleeping. I just wanted to talk about this very briefly. This was kind of a last minute decision for me, and I'm staying in a room with Nikki and Christina, and it's 2 double beds, which is really not enough room for 2 girls in one bed. So we asked for a rollaway bed. Fire code, there's not enough room in the in the room for the rollaway bed. So Nikki bought me, out of the kindness of her heart, a twin size air mattress, and it's on the floor between the 2 double beds, which has just enough space for 1 twin size air mattress. So we've kind of got a triple decker bunking situation going on.
That's
in the
really
hotel room.
cozy.
I feel like I need to take a photo of her though, with like she's all bundled up under her blankets, and it should be
Yeah, we'll have Jared
wedged.
splice it in.
Yeah, splice it in like right here.
It is important content. But I'm having a great time. I'm happy to be here.
Just happy to be
It'd be
here.
real weird if you weren't having a time and you're like, this is pretty okay.
It's kind of like
That's real uncomfortable that I have to
Every-
sleep in for the next 3
every
minutes.
time you say I'm just happy to be here, I think about the trip to Portugal when we barely made it onto the plane, and the stewardess
shit
thought
show.
something. Yeah, the stewardess thought something was wrong. The flight attendant thought something was wrong, so she like sat there and she like looks over at Allison and she's just like, "Is everything okay?" And Allison just goes, "I'm just happy to be here."
After I just rage drove 7 hours to New Jersey to catch that flight.
Thanks, United.
Is there
Was
any-
it United?
Is there any other kind of driving?
Honestly, for me, no.
Yeah. I know, I'm right with you. I get it. A hybrid.
I'm telling you, it's that RAV4, baby. It's mean.
I'm not getting in the car with you.
It's fun.
It is mostly.
I'm a nervous passenger.
Yeah,
No,
no,
you'll be. It's a hybrid. It's slow. Like, trust me, it does not go fast.
I mean, it did pretty good to Florida.
You know, she's very creative in the names that she calls people when she's driving, or like the things that she says. I don't think she realizes the creativity. It's really solidified why we were friends.
I do
solidified why we were
also
friends.
talk to those people when I'm in the car by myself.
No, I know.
When I drove here, I've never been to Charlotte before.
It was as if I wasn't in the car. That's just for the record.
Right,
Like,
yeah,
I felt
like-
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, okay, so then it dropped me off, like literally, 5 lanes of traffic in the middle of the city, and my total was the next turn. Like, I'm in the far left lane. It thinks I'm getting over.
You have to
5
get all the way
no
over.
No way. No fucking way. Respectfully, no.
Maybe that's a setting. Maybe it's a setting, like not crossing 5 lanes of traffic. Like turn off toll roads, turn off the Mexican slide.
Just, it's
And
a no
so
for me today.
for your first time to Charlotte, she gets here at like almost 9 o'clock at night, and we're at
Last night.
we're at a dive bar
Oh, great
with
bar.
Lonald,
The Thirsty
called
Beaver.
the Thirsty Beaver,
Yes.
and that was a great experience.
Oh, I loved it.
I'm going to paint the picture for the people listening or watching, whatever. The Thirsty Beaver is like a dive bar version of the house in Up. So a developer
Yes.
bought the land and built huge high-rise apartments all around it and tried to buy the Thirsty Beaver, but the owner wouldn't sell. So they like built, he wanted to like make a bar, like have it like a part of it, and the Thirsty Beaver guy was like, absolutely not. So it's like it's the Up house. I wonder, I have a picture. I'm going to ask Jared to slice it in.
Yes.
Right here. Like they have like those letters from Michael's that have like the dots at the end of them. You know, like the C with like the dot that they like painted brown, and that's the sign. It says like Thirsty Beaver, like
That's the official
haphazardly
sign.
attached to the top of the building.
So
Yes.
Christy brought this up earlier, and I had completely forgotten about it. But apparently, Mick Jagger played a show in Charlotte right before COVID happened. He actually has a photo in front of. We think it's in front of the Thirsty Beaver.
Yes.
Like just kind of like.
And he's just hanging out, like just
I know
drinking his
why.
beer.
That's the only
Yeah.
place I want to go.
And
Look
it
at
went
the-
viral.
I thought that this was a squeegee. In all honesty.
It does look like
Yeah,
a
it does.
squeegee.
Yeah.
Should we get that tattoo?
Yeah. That's a good idea. Indy.
Look at his face though with that cowboy hat on.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a little
So
scary.
we have to splice this in now
Yeah, for
because
sure.
they've got to see it.
You know what? I'm gonna make it a squeegee.
If you're ever in Charlotte, North Carolina, highly recommend. A lot of velvet
Thirsty Beaver
paintings.
Saloon. It's a saloon.
A lot of Schlitz memorabilia.
Your Uber driver might steer you
pictures?
away from it, but don't listen to her.
Oh, there, yeah, the 3D Lisa Frank bookmark.
Oh
the
yeah,
Lionel
Lionel
Richie.
Richie.
Oh
You got
my
3
God.
different Lionel Richies.
And like, what about that air conditioner on the wall?
I'm telling you,
A
it's
window unit?
solid.
Yeah, but in the wall. It's a wall unit. Also, there was like a lot of someone was drinking Pediasure there.
Oh, we had
Uh,
scotch
look,
in it.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of
Scotch and Pediasure?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Literally,
what it is.
yeah.
That's how you know it's a good and divey. Scotch and the
paintings.
Pediasure.
Oh my god! And it wasn't like, just to clarify,
He's-
not
you know, it's
Pedialyte.
great.
Like this was like
Great.
milk drink.
He's not waking up with a hangover today.
Oh my no!
You know what? He's serious
He's
gains,
got
is what
all
we
of
talked about.
all
He's
of
getting
his
the gains.
vitamins and nutrients.
And the game, remember, it said
Doesn't
gains
need to
on
eat.
it?
All right.
I bet he's not hungry
We
this
should
morning.
probably talk about sponsors because
Tomorrow.
they give us things.
Okay. Shout out to our sponsors, Easiway and Bluewater. Repped us from the beginning. We love them. We did come up with a game that we're going to do at the next trade show with them. Last night, we're going to do Pin the Mustache on
On the
Alex.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to do, well, we did consider having it as a shirt. And people have to, like, while you're walking around, try to get a mustache on you. I think it'd be fun.
Do
But
not
also,
touch Christina.
If you can catch me.
Don't make it a challenge.
Very good at hiding.
Yeah.
Disappearing
He
is
is
my
pretty
disappearing is one of my magic tricks. In college, my friends would have to write their contact info on my arm and then cover it with clear Sharpie, cover it with clear nail polish.
Oh,
Because
that's
I
how
had,
I
like, a
send
habit
my
of, like,
kids to Carowinds, you know?
I'm a child basically. I just
Yeah.
never grew up. No one told me how to grow up, so that's why my friends had to like. Now I have an air tag.
We just
That's grown
we
up
program
Sharpie.
her.
You
I
know
just
what?
tap it and I
This
program her
could
into
be
my
a
phone.
marketing thing
Yeah.
for Apple.
Yeah,
Oh, it
the
could
air
be.
tags,
Yeah.
It's
The
sewn-
grown-up
I have, like, a
Sharpie
pocket,
on
like,
your arm.
sewn into my pants. Like, slip it into the pocket of my pants, or like in my shoes. Like,
Are you
yeah.
tracking her?
Yeah.
Huh?
So-
Are you tracking her?
Yeah, I'm tracking her.
Always.
Yeah.
So
Going to
something has
find
be.
my.
That's
I'm
the
like
rule.
find my Christina.
Yep. It's like name object. Okay, so yeah, Easiway.
Easiway.
Thanks for the support. Jared and the Golden Boys always helping us out with editing our podcast and getting home late from their family trips, and then hopping right on the phone the very next morning, bright and early, to help us with the settings on this camera, because it makes his life easier for editing our stuff and all of our mic work and everything.
To make sure that you guys have the best videos possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Graphics Pro, per usual, hooking us up with this adorable little corner area. They have like twinkly lights and
I love the
Hey, guys.
ambiance
Yeah,
of this
the vibe is
booth. It's
here.
great.
vibe for sure. We saw this setup. They hooked us up last time when we were in Irving, and we walked up. We were like, "What? This is adorable!" So Graphics Pro always taking care of us, looking out for us, hooking us up. You're gonna record here also, right?
I am. I'm up next.
You're next. All right, cool.
Back to back.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
Not one of our sponsors is Mick Ultra.
Yet.
Yeah.
I mean, might as well be.
If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I'm not sponsored
Yet.
but I'm working on it. So, I think that covers everything, right?
yeah, that's
Allison, do
it.
you want to give us what you think
The
Girl Mafia
dance
is?
breakdown?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's even better.
What is-
I'm doing no
Can
dancing.
you do the dance while you tell us about Girl Mafia?
Well, I'm not doing any dancing.
Why?
I also
I have a table for
I
you.
really
know that
wish
there's
you
not-
were. This is the
Look,
first time I've met you, so I feel like it would really solidify our relationship.
I know there's not a pole attached, but you could get.
I
on the
can hold the
table.
table.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
We
can
got
use
you.
the pole under
I'm
the
just
table.
saying that I don't do any dancing at all, and I'm not prepared a routine.
Stay tuned for
So wait.
videos later when Allison is a little tooted and she's dancing, and I'm gonna post videos.
So no hardcore dancing, like no
Yeah.
actual breakdowns. Come on.
I don't do that. I stand in the mosh pit on the edge like this.
Thirsty Beaver Night 2
Don't
dancing.
touch me. Don't fucking hit me. I'm right here. I'm just trying to have a good time. Okay. If you kick me in the face, I'm gonna be pissed. That's what this is. The
A good
arm.
time
Arm bar.
party. Yeah, I like the arm bar.
Yes. That's my move.
I usually just. Okay, so what is Prank Girl Mafia to you?
To me,
Yeah. Come on, Mario.
well, I
They're
didn't
used to
realize we
hearing
were
our
getting emotional.
Oh God, I didn't know it was gonna be emotional. All right,
Listen to what you said.
hold on,
To
I'll get
me,
tissues.
I
does it mean
I
to
don't
you?
need a tissue. Prank Call Mafia was a group chat and is a group chat. We have a small group chat with 10 of us.
I'm gonna pause you one moment because I was listening to the BF episode of Shirt Show this week,
Yes.
and Andy is like, "Oh, I don't know. We started this Wild Boys group text. For the record, Wild Boys group text started because JoJo was in the PGM OG text, and Dandy was jealous.
Big surprise.
So they started Mild Boys text.
and we all know who's better.
I mean." They're not gonna find out because it's all girl. Like our text is our text, but like I'm just saying that like we started a thing in more than one way.
Yes.
Okay, resume.
Yeah, so we do have a group chat. And then it just kind of became a little more than that. Like, yeah, it's more like a movement of inclusion for women in the industry.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes. And
Sleepover buddies.
Yes, I'm a chronic sleepover haver because I always travel solo to these shows, and I'm poor, and so I'm always crashing in other people's rooms, which has been great. And actually, that's how I met Allison, who's another OG. That we both didn't know each other and needed a roommate, and we were going to a trade show, and that's how the cookie crumbled, and it was a great time. And now every time I think about Allison, I think about how she said her feet were hurting, and she said, "Oh man, the dogs are barking." And I just love that so much.
She's very good at idioms.
It really
She has like adorable idioms all the time.
It works
I
like
just
that.
love it, yeah.
One day we're gonna get her to be on a podcast.
Okay,
one
so
day.
Best of luck. Will
Anyways.
never happen. She was on Church Show. I got her set up. So PGM. Now what is it?
yeah, now it is a Facebook group for all women. No boys allowed. We will kick you out. And that's really awesome because I just feel like I actually pretty much never post in any of the other groups anymore because I don't want to deal with the bullshit that comes with those other groups.
Yeah.
It's a safe place, I think.
exactly.
To ask questions and stuff.
Right. So like,
I literally only go on Facebook. I don't go on Sorry, I can't go on Facebook.
What's happening with you?
I think I'm
Christina's
working
watching.
out.
Yeah, I think she's working out.
I'm just so my heart rate is bumping, so they like think that I'm.
It's the Mick Ultra and B to just hanging out with your
No,
best
it's
friends.
yeah, my best friends.
So yeah, Facebook group. We were talking about.
Oh yeah,
Facebook
I
group.
only go on Facebook to go to the PGM group.
Yeah.
Like I deactivated Facebook for a while. If any of the girls are on Facebook, I'm actually Agnes Lou on Facebook. My maiden name is Lewis, so Lou is always a nickname, and then Agnes, I made a fake name in college at bars.
And that's the one you picked?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She really
we all
has
have
a
like
personality.
Yeah, well, because it's hilarious. Like people,
Yeah.
I was like, we were at bars for a good time, like a fun time, like funny. So we like, my other friend was Matilda. Everyone still calls her Tilly, which now I have a new Tilly. Two Tillys, but for a long time she was the only like Tilly. We had like a Eunice, we had Pearl. Like we all just picked like
grandma names.
Bernice.
Yeah.
Like we all picked like old lady.
Grandma's name was Bernice.
Do you
See?
know, a few weeks ago I was in Folly Beach and we were at a bar in Folly Beach. Have you guys ever been there before?
I have
my
not,
best
but
friend
I've heard that.
I
it's
love
great.
it. We should go sometime.
Right after this.
But we're sitting there at a bar, and all of a sudden, like this massive group of like 15 old ladies come in, and they've got visors, and they're all dressed in like long gowns and stuff, and they're like cutting a rug, like hardcore pole dancing kind of stuff,
Hell yeah.
like to this
Hell yeah.
reggae band in Folly Beach, and me and my fiance were just laughing hysterically. Well, then we go up because Nate's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go dance with them and like make their day." They were youngins dressed up with wigs, and it
Hell
was
yeah.
like a bachelorette
Hell yeah.
party or
Hell yeah.
something.
That's great.
They
That's
wouldn't
my
have paid
favorite
him
thing
any
now.
attention.
It's like all the themed bachelorette parties are my jam right
So-
now. We just
Yeah.
saw in like a Guy
was
Fieri
great.
bachelorette party. And I
A
was
guy
like,
here.
yeah, they
Oh
were
my
all
gosh.
the girls were dressed as like Guy Fieri.
Yeah,
So we're
like bowling shirt.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
like
need
with
to
the
step it up
flames
for
out, like,
I
mine.
know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
So-
like a PGM outing with like.
I think that like we should allow Christy to introduce herself.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Oh, before, where do you think PGM is gonna go?
To the moon.
I'm down
I
with that.
don't-
The moon's
We're
my
gonna
favorite.
beat SpaceX there.
I'm gonna make Jared cut in a hilarious picture of me
On
when
the
I
moon.
visited you in that spacesuit at the airport.
Oh
Where
yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah, that was one of the few highlights of that airport.
So many questions.
Sorry, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it.
No. No.
All right. So,
Hello.
who the hell are you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Who are you?
Hi, I'm Christy
Why are you
Rossi.
here?
Oh, we heard this introduction like 42 times while she was testing the microphone. So.
I'm Christy Rossi from Snatch and Run Screen Printing, Charlotte, North Carolina. My shop actually isn't in Charlotte, it's in TK, South Carolina, which is right on the South Carolina border, but no one knows where the hell that is, so I just say we're a Charlotte screen printing company. I own an all-female owned and operated shop. It's painted pink and teal, and we live and breathe that branding. Like, we're very proud of being female owned and operated. I mostly hire stay-at-home moms that are transitioning back into the workforce.
Talk about that yet. We're going to talk about this.
Okay, sorry.
Just kidding.
I love the girls that work for
We're
me.
going to talk. I want to dive more into depth about that.
Yes.
I love that.
So, and then I'm also on the Gildan Board of Decorators this year, and I have a podcast as well, Last Call for Plastisoft.
Very
So,
good.
Shout out.
shout out.
Shout out.
Hi, Jeremy.
Yeah. What up? He's not here.
Not yet. Hopefully he makes
Jeremy.
it.
I might be Jeremy soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need a hat with an R on it. Then you'll be Jeremy.
There's got to be a heat transfer company around here somewhere.
Yes.
That could make that for us.
We could use a Sharpie too. It's
There's a lot of
okay.
DTG going around.
So that's about it for me.
I like that. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some things that I took notes for that we should talk about with you, because we had a little pre-call to make sure that our content was high quality for this. Obviously, we're killing it.
Yeah.
If you can't tell.
I don't think you guys want to just watch us bullshit every single podcast. So we're trying to actually maybe find out about our guests.
Little nuggets.
Just a little bit.
Little nuggets.
I think that it would be a good place to start. To me, when I think Snatch and Run, I think about stealing someone's food,
Yes.
like a squirrel. A squirrel, I feel like, embodies Snatch and Run. But
Yes.
I feel like it probably has like a different
Yeah. So
origin than squirrels.
we started out as exclusively a CrossFit apparel company. And we are not sponsored or affiliated with CrossFit in any way.
It's kind of a big legal thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Let me preface that before
yes,
I get sued.
CrossFit,
Yeah.
I love you, but we are not affiliated with you in any way. So our screen printing company, I went to a CrossFit gym and people were saying they wanted shirts, and I was a stay-at-home mom at that point, and I thought, how hard can it be to make a shirt? Famous last
Okay,
words.
you know how they say that marijuana is the gateway drug?
Yeah.
That is the gateway to screen printing.
Yes.
How
Yes.
hard can it be?
Yes.
Yes.
I've already
That's how
I
decided
can do
that
this myself.
that needs to be a
myself.
shirt
Yeah.
in itself.
Yeah.
How hard could it be to make a shirt? So I went home and
How
like
hard could it be? The gateway drug
Yeah.
for screen printing.
looked on YouTube, and the people on YouTube did not make it seem hard. So I bought a speedball kit,
Oh, yeah.
spent $300, bought some clearance shirts at Target, brought those, screen printed. It was awful. It was
No way.
the worst. But I posted
What a
about it on
surprise.
Instagram, just like
I am.
being my smiley self, and people bought them. They weren't even for
They're
sale.
buying you.
Well, there's pieces of me on those shirts.
Oh, so I don't know if you want to know
A little
about that.
Ashley Simpson.
Yes. So they bought them, and then I was so excited that I sold these things I created, because I have a finance degree, so I'd never created anything, you know.
Other than spreadsheets.
Spreadsheets.
Freaking the sheets. Freaking the spreadsheets.
So I went back to Target, got some more shirts, sold those, and then just bootstrapped my business. Every time I had enough money to buy another piece of equipment, whether it was a flash or a four color one station press or whatever, I just upgraded. And now we have an auto shop right outside Charlotte.
Okay. So I know all that story.
Yes.
But something we talked about now is that you don't print for those
No.
gems anymore.
No. Well, I do have some gems.
Okay.
Yes. I have some gems that are still my OG clients, and I love them dearly.
And uncut gems.
Yes.
Uncut gems.
Gems.
Okay. So, but what we talked about though is that you started very niche,
Yes. Very, very.
but as your company grew and the name of your shop is a very niche name.
Yes. And so Snatch and Run is a weightlifting move. It snatches a weightlifting move, and running, I love to run. So, and then it's kind of a play on that idea of stealing things too.
Yeah, obviously.
So, and you were doing, in the beginning, you were doing like cool gym shirts, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like our most
And then
popular
selling them
shirt
yourself?
that we ever sold was called, it had Snatch-tastic written across the front, which is very popular because people like to make snatch jokes all the
obviously.
time.
Sure.
So, and we would travel
Tell
all
us
around.
why people like to make that snatch shirt. Why do people? What's so funny about snatch?
I don't know. I don't find it funny anymore.
Oh, okay, cool. Got it.
That was old me. So how did you transition from, doing just funny shirts to like making business logos?
Yeah. So after like 26 weekends in 1 year of traveling to CrossFit events, peddling my t-shirts,
I love the word pedal.
I
I imagine her like on a bike
Yeah,
selling
like,
them.
like a little cart.
Yeah.
I was
Like a
just
hot
like,
dog
please,
cart.
But
please buy them.
Can you get like a bike that has a press on the back of it, and you like roll it around,
Yeah,
and you
I
like
guess you
print
could.
shirts as you're like
That's what
rolling down the sidewalks?
It
of
literally
Charlotte?
felt like that. That was my life. So CrossFit is very cultish, if you didn't know that.
What?
So people that own small businesses and work at corporate, because it's an expensive hobby as well, want to buy from people in the cult. So they were approaching us.
They want to keep their money
In the cult. Yes. They were
keeping your
approaching
money
us to
local.
print their shirts. And so at first we were like, well, we don't really know what we're doing, but I guess we can do it. And they didn't care because we were in the cult. So that's how this developed.
You're Snatch-tastic. You can print my shirt.
Yeah. So like every time it washes out, I'll just give it back to you and you print another thing on it.
They loved
It's like
it.
an erasable shirt.
Honestly, that's the cricket mom's dream.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. You just have to smile and
You don't have to buy a
look
shirt
cute when
over and
you're
over
selling
again.
it.
Yeah.
We were like initially when we first moved into Plastisol, we were curing them in my home oven, and I think I've told you this before. We had
Yep.
scorch marks all over the Bella 8800s.
Sounds right.
And
The worst shirt to print on.
I
Hate that garment.
And I imagine the scorch marks being like the shape
The
of
coils.
like the coil
Yeah.
in the oven. or like the rest of the plastisol dries or washes out except for like the
Yeah.
coil shape, like just the spots.
And
where
then
the
you were
bar-
baking your family's cinnamon rolls in this.
yeah.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, this is what's wrong with them.
That's why she looks so young. She's actually
Yeah.
75, but she's been cured.
Move over, Botox.
That was good.
Cured.
So now we really don't do gems. We just do the corporate stuff, and I've tried to change our name several times, but people love Snatch and Run. So
Yeah, I mean, a part of it is just marketing. So that's a part of what we dealt with. Is it's Varsity Sport Shop. It started over 50 years ago as a sport shop, and like now we're not really a sport like at all. You know, we got rid of the sports equipment last year. We do some specialty stuff, but like for the most part, but it's been, and it's like a small town. It's like it's been around for 50 years. Like what? Well, like it's not a sport shop anymore. We're like, well, sorry. Like there's a restaurant in town that was Dale's forever. It's all of our favorite, and it rebranded to Moonswiner. We're like, no, it's not.
That's
still
Dale's.
Dale's. Yeah.
Dale's. But there's also people like Nikki recently did a rebrand, and it's going really successfully. And that, if you do it the right way, we're keeping Varsity. We're just gonna drop the sport shop. But I understand like it's difficult once you're identifiable.
and
make that
you know what?
shift.
People don't forget Snatch and Run.
No, that's
Yeah, no,
very
I-
unique.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is hard to make the shift, and even with our original name, it's a very memorable name too. But it was time to move on and move into
With a
something
negative
that
connotation.
really made a difference, in the business that we've become. But people still gravitate to the old name, so it's like we've been trying to make it a point to, with the old website, it's still up because it has promotional products on it. Leave a mix of old branding and new branding on it for a solid year. That way, anybody who is this new company? Did you get bought out? Are the same people still running it? It kind of, it
Answers
gives them a
those
year to
questions.
kind of like get in the mode of like, oh, you're the same
Right.
people.
It's still us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a way to do the transition, but there's no way, like, them going from Machine Gun Graphics to Cotton Street, they're on Cotton Street. So not only is that memorable, but they also have an adorable little rabbit. Like, that makes sense. You will be hard pressed, I think, to come up with something as memorable as Snatch and Run.
Yeah.
And also, what if you one day want to shift back into that niche?
So
Correct.
We already talked about this. My new headshots need to be with a bunny.
Yes.
Which
I think
coming
that
soon.
is classic.
So
Real
I
rabbit,
think
though.
that your new headshots need to be with like
Oh, I
a
can't wait to hear
kettlebell.
this.
A squirrel.
A kettlebell, and you're just like lifting it up.
No, it's gonna be a
That's
squirrel. and a
that's
tiny t-shirt.
way better than I thought you were gonna say.
I mean, I try to keep it a little bit clean.
Oysters.
Yes,
It'll be with
Try to keep it a little bit
oysters,
clean.
Shape of oysters.
Your brain was in the gutter this time.
it always is.
I mean, it's kind of this industry.
You have to have a little bit of a sense of humor to
Very
own
true.
a shop called Snatch and Run.
Very
a
true.
sense of humor in this industry in general.
Well,
We'll be honest.
yeah.
Okay, so but ultimately though, you have shifted a majority out of that niche
Correct.
market. So
Yes.
something we talked about is like just because you start in a niche doesn't mean that you have to stay in a niche. So if
Yeah.
you're stressing about what that might mean for your business, it's okay. Like you
Absolutely.
found great success not staying within that.
Yeah, no, we are way more successful now that we haven't stayed in it, but we still haven't abandoned that identity either.
like
And
that,
I
maintaining
think
the identity.
what's important, especially in COVID, taught a lot of us this. Like, you have to be so flexible if you're going to stay in
Right.
business for a long
Which is
time.
not a part of CrossFit.
Wrong
There's
wad.
not
Wrong
much
wad.
flexibility involved. That's more the yoga.
Speaking of niches, Lon's over here.
Hi,
We like to
Lon.
call him Lonald. So when you see him now, his name is Lonald. It's no longer Lon.
I did name him before I met him, which is my favorite.
That ain't right.
Is good at coming up names.
Hi, Mom.
Why is it not right? Come over here, Lon.
Come over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Get in the middle.
Oh, I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
For you.
For me.
We're talking about niches.
Oh, wait.
Uh-oh.
$500 Firefox winner. Congratulations, Kyle Smith of Kyle Smith Designs.
Please come to the graphics pro booth in the back of
When
aisle
this
400
goes live, I would
to
love to
claim
hear.
your prize.
Yes.
Congratulations, Kyle Smith.
Congratulations, Kyle.
Kyle.
Mayfield, Kentucky.
Hell
Do
yeah.
I look like a Kyle?
That's me,
Could I
Kyle.
get
Very nice.
Do you want to cheers, Kyle?
cheers
Yeah.
to you, Kyle?
Cheers to Kyle.
Congrats, Kyle.
Yes.
You just need a reason.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really need a
Very
reason. but-
minute reason.
So we were talking about niches just now with Christy's shop and how you don't have to really like stay stuck in that niche market. And then you walked over and you do some niche stuff too, right?
I was just having a conversation with the good folks at GPX about
Niches?
niches. We work in a volleyball space. That's kind of one of our things.
Yeah.
My wife and daughter played in college and both coach, and so you kind of end up where you end up.
Yeah.
And we do a lot in the western wear and country
Hell yeah.
space. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
'Cause
So
we're
you
from Colorado.
you
so-
enjoyed meeting Big Country last night then?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Mono is the one who brought us to Thirsty Beaver.
Yep.
You gotta go to a place called the Thirsty Beaver.
That's literally
That was a
the,
hell of a
the
bar.
only place I want to go to other than we do have to stop by the QC Poorhouse.
We do.
Nikki and I met him last
Yep.
year, and Jay and his wife Ashley at a Dashboard Confessional and Andrew McMahon show.
Yep.
So we became friends, and during that combo, I was like, oh, he's like, oh, we own a bar. I'm like, oh, we should go there. So we went there, and I was like, oh, who makes your shirts, and how much you pay for them? And it was astronomical, and the printing was not even that great. It's fine, like it's
Yeah.
fine. And I was like, oh, my friend Nikki lives like, I don't know, 45 minutes away. You should talk to her. And now Nikki prints all the shirts.
Hell
yeah.
We print all their merchandise now. Yep.
Boom.
And they love it. And they're great partners. And they have great food. We have to go there
Yeah,
tonight.
we're gonna
That's the plan for tonight.
What's it called?
QC Poorhouse.
Yep.
POUR.
It's like a sports bar with food. The food is really good.
Downtown here? Ish?
We'll probably Uber to it. Yeah. We'll come pick you up.
Beep beep.
Yeah. Did you walk to the Thirsty Beaver?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mile and a half.
Yeah.
It's always raining here. What's that?
No,
It's not usually.
It's not always
not.
raining. This is just miserable.
Universe wants us to be inside at bars.
Is that what it is?
You know what? It didn't rain back in September.
It has rained inside this building multiple times. This time of year. It has multiple times.
We're going for an outdoor ambiance.
Is it Kyle?
Oh man, look at his big
Hi,
check.
Kyle.
Big check.
Congrats, Kyle Smith of Kyle Smith Designs.
You can't beat that.
Is that Jackie?
No, that's Brandy. We're gonna take shots with her later.
Make her have Kyle over. Randy. Can we borrow Kyle to show his check on our
Can we borrow Kyle?
with his check?
Can you borrow Kyle and what?
Kyle, we're excited about your big
We want to
check.
tell him congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, take him right now.
Come in the front.
Hi, Kyle.
Borrow the check.
Take him out.
Come over here, Kyle.
Come
You
here.
can hold the fake check. Do you want him to hold the fake check?
I'll hold it.
There you go. Show
I'll hold it for
show
you.
the check, Kyle.
Hell yeah. What are you going to get, Kyle?
Got it.
You know?
All right, let's do this right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you going to use it on,
Yeah,
Kyle?
what are you going to use it on?
I don't really know yet.
Well, the good news, we are giving you a
We are
giving you a bunch of
thirsty.
marketing. When she's
Huge.
calling your name, we're giving you a ton of marketing, so we'll tag you in this video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you on Instagram?
Just Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook? Okay, we'll find you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
We'll find you.
That was
and we'll
really
tag you.
scary.
That's what they say.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So much.
Thank
They will
you.
find you.
That's okay. I hope you enjoy it.
hell yeah.
You earned it. That's fun.
Oh, we want to hear more about your business.
Right.
Volleyball.
Volleyball, country, western,
Volleyball.
dirty, dusty.
Dirty Dusty. I like it.
Yeah, we do cowboy stuff.
Yeah, I want to hear more about the Western
Tell us
wear.
about Western wear.
We do, we work, there's a bunch of brands in the Denver area, but we do a ton of work for Stetson and
Oh, hell yeah.
hell yeah, Roper.
OG right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, we might. So if you do that, we need to talk about this later then, because all of the Mafia girls are going to Nashville. We might need some custom hats.
We can probably hook you up.
Uh-oh.
We can probably hook you up.
All right.
or at least shirts.
You're right. Shirts would be
Like a PGM.
Like those
Yeah.
flannel with
We
like the
can
buttons
probably,
on them.
Okay.
some like fake
Yeah,
chains.
girls tonight.
Yeah. Only if it can have like little tassels,
Oh, no.
like on the
oh,
pockets.
we do
Yeah,
tassels.
we can do friend.
Yeah.
You know what? I need
A bolo tie.
Yep.
I was
Yep.
just shopping for bolo ties this morning because that's who I am as a
You
person.
make custom bolos?
We don't, but they do. They're in
All right.
I see them all the time in the warehouse.
Okay. All right. Sorry to interrupt, Lon. Please continue.
I forget what I was talking about now.
at all the GPX stuff. Ronald does classes,
We've got a
seminars. What do you call it? What's it named for?
seminars, classes.
Ronald is a sick teacher, and I used to be a teacher, and I'm real critical of teachers. Not
She
on purpose.
honestly really is.
Yeah,
Not
she
on
is.
purpose. More of like a please let me help you way, but like I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so good at that.
She's going to give you feedback. If she sees you teaching a class, she's probably just going to email you randomly and tell you what you're doing wrong.
Oh, big
no,
time.
I
Yeah.
won't do. I will.
She'll tell you to your
offer-
face.
Just constructive criticism. That's all it is,
So
right?
I try. People have a negative feeling about criticism, even if it's the word constructive leads it. I try to I offer that if you want feedback, I will give it to you. But if you don't want it,
Just stack
Fine,
them up.
fine.
Yeah.
If you
We
don't
should make a
want it, fine.
pyramid.
This is a bad idea.
No. It's great.
This one's kind of got a little bit of beer in it.
That's going to end up in somebody's phone.
Yeah, that's fine. It'll just be mine. It's okay. It's already broken. Yeah. She watched me throw it by accident 3 times yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, yeah.
we have a panel tomorrow.
We do.
We were on a panel at the Texas Graphics Pro and some other no-namers. Just kidding. They were very fancy people. Who was on that? Mark from GSG,
Yeah.
Brett Bowden.
Brett Bowden.
Probably no one knows him.
We were on it.
Some people call him Jesus.
Yeah,
Screen
we were
print
on it.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's
Some other
PJ.
Texas people that I can't remember immediately off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
I'm
But
sorry.
we've got another one tomorrow. I mean, like I said,
It's 11 o'clock tomorrow. 11 o'clock tomorrow.
call me 10. I'll be there by 11.
I'm going to film it, so there may actually be some film footage for it. Like, down the road, we can actually post something.
That'll be
How about
good.
that? Content.
Yeah.
Yeah. Content is king.
Share that with the public.
Yeah, it's no more cash.
Yeah.
In this day and age, it's content is king.
That's right. Yeah. We don't.
Content gets you the cash.
Correct. Hopefully.
Is that what they say?
I don't know. I'm
It
not
doesn't work for
experienced
me.
in that.
It's not working for me. I do it. So why do you do those panels?
Because they're fun and it's a way for me to kind of give back to the community in a way that isn't necessarily writing a check. but it's well, I mean, I would say we're not getting
PGM.
rich, but it's provided for my family. It's provided for a lot of my people's families for 30-something years, and you know, there's no reason that folks have to learn everything the hard way. That
Agreed.
Yeah.
if there's some experiences that I can share that can kind of
Help push the industry forward.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
only learned things the hard way, but I appreciate you looking out for it.
And I think we all do learn a lot the hard way, but there's so many things that because of the mediums today we can share that information. Now we can overshare. There's a lot of information that finds its way out there that's not
YouTube is a
necessarily-
good and a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not necessarily accurate or it's not necessarily useful.
Well, it's overwhelming too to even have like go there and you type in screen printing, manual press, whatever press you're using, and then you get 1,000 videos. And how do you know if the one you picked, if that person is qualified, or they know what they're doing, or? And I feel like they can be like, oh, I have a shop, we have this many, whatever, we need this and this, and it's like, how do I even know?
You really don't, and I think when you're a brand new to the business, I think it's not necessarily a great way to figure it. Now
Not anymore.
yeah,
I think probably
there's
like
good
20 years
information, but it's so buried in bad information, and by the time
Right.
you can sort through it, then you probably know enough to be dangerous
Yeah, it's
anyway.
very saturated.
But if you can get guidance from up here, from somebody that's been in the business even for a minute, to at least say, hey, go to this YouTube channel. This stuff is pretty accurate.
Right. Yeah, people are definitely apt to share their advice, which might not always be the best advice.
Not always. I mean, it's
Yes.
great because we're all willing to share with each other, but it's also dangerous
The
because
pendulum has swung, right? I feel like 20 years ago, no one wanted to share a damn thing, and now everyone wants to share all the things. But there's a difference between people, like you're saying, you give back.
Right.
Like there's a difference between people doing it to monetize and try to make money off of it versus people who are doing it with genuine intent. And I feel like that is the difference with you, for me. Like I feel like you're very
Appreciate that.
genuine. And I feel like also you have a really broad and good quality perspective to know what order and what is valuable to teach someone or to show someone. You know what I mean? Like
Sure,
it's not
sure.
like you're like, oh, I'm a manual shop, so I'm gonna post videos. Like you've been through all of it, so you know if they're trying to end up in with 3 autos when you're printing manual, this is what you actually need to do if you're looking to scale. Versus like, this is how you manually print. Like it might not be the most effective way to do it if you're looking to scale.
Sure,
You know what I mean?
sure.
Like you have that such quality perspective.
well, you're just sharing experiences. I don't know that, and maybe I've matured or grown up over a period of
No,
time.
none of us are growing up. It's fine. You know what? One of my favorite movies is Peter Pan. Never grow up.
That's-
Okay,
And
Lost Boy forever.
But I think through, instead of
Yeah.
maybe teaching moment, instead of telling somebody how they're supposed to do things, it's more of well, this is the experiences that I have, that I used to do it this effed up way, and now we do it this way because
Right.
we learn these. And I write an article for Graphics Pro every month called Software Substrate, and it's just a story of usually something we screwed up and figured out how to fix,
Right.
or the experience in that this was particularly challenging for whatever reason, and this is how we handled that project. And it's more relatable or approachable instead of being told, here's how you do this. This is what you want. You want this mesh, you want this stencil thickness, you want all
Right.
that stuff is important, and all that stuff are the details, but those things are
They're kind of
less-
unapproachable. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck does EOM mean? I know now, but I definitely did not for a long time.
I was like, well,
Yeah, I
Allison.
literally just learned 2 weeks ago. You know,
Oh, really?
like yeah, like we didn't need it in our shop. We
True.
were making do without it.
True.
You know,
but
You know, like you knew
Right,
about
right.
the emulsion over the mesh, you just didn't know what the proper name was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you didn't
Right.
know the lingo.
Oh, and I didn't know that it mattered.
Yeah.
Sure. And then
Oh yeah.
Or
you can take that bit of information, now that you know that EOM is important, you don't necessarily have to
She just
spend
learned.
$600
Right now.
on
No, you
a
call your
stencil
friendly
thickness
local
gauge.
Saudi or Easiway.
Yeah.
Not Easiway,
You can
they
do
don't
that,
sell
and that's a
emulsion, but
smart
Saudi
idea.
does.
Or you can use your finger. As long as you feel an edge on your stencil, you've
Right.
got legit EOM. You don't know what the number is. You don't necessarily need to know what the number is.
Right.
But you know you have some EOM.
Well, you
and
know,
you're in good
what's so
shape.
funny is that like I've worked with my boss for a long time, and we worked for his dad, and his dad dried screens upside down. And when we learned that we were drying them upside down, when we started pulling a squeegee over a screen that had not been dried upside down, and there wasn't this huge bump, we were like, "Oh my god, this makes so much sense." I can't. And I think his dad still dries them upside down. Like that's just his life.
Why change now?
Yeah, I mean, he made it this far with his
It
textile
works
PV.
for him. That's what I mean.
Now I just want to go to my shop and dry one upside down because in my brain, I imagine the print being like super bumpy and raised up, and I just want to take a little Hot Wheels car and like ride it across the print.
It would be like that.
I think it was fine, but also he didn't reclaim the whole screen. Like he said,
Oh, no.
he said
What?
it was too hard to reclaim the edges. So like basically there would be an oval of usable print space, and then trying to drag the
How
screen
much
coater.
longer would it have taken to clean the whole screen?
I think that at some point he had gotten some I don't know if there was something in his process that was wrong, right? And so it was too hard to reclaim
okay.
one time, and then now
He
it's
didn't
like.
have Easiway product.
Correct. You're right. Yeah, he uses some very caustic Saudi powder. And anyways, yeah, so like at one point it had gotten too difficult, and so then he just stopped. And I'm pretty
Well,
sure
like
that
once you
they
stop
still
and
use
it
those
has
screens.
it on there, like can you use it 3 more times? There's no.
It's fine.
Locked in
Less
now.
tape, right? Less tape.
I'm not so sure about that.
So I do think that what I like about Graphics Pro shows is that they're like smaller and more regional. So I think they're easier access and some like don't get me wrong, ISS shows like are great. You can attend one, but it is a major expense going to smaller shops to make that trip to Long Beach or Atlantic City or like that's a big trip unless you live close to there. So
Right.
what I love about Graphics Pro is I feel like they're hitting smaller regional markets, but they're also investing in the learning. So they're bringing the learning to those smaller regional where the smaller shops are. And I love that they're working so closely with you to make sure that the access is equitable.
Did you guys see the press release? I think it was yesterday. They put their schedule out for next year.
No,
No, not
I did
yet.
not.
They're going. They'll be in 5 cities. Greater Philadelphia area. Is,
Oh, that'll be
is-
I love
fun.
Philly. I love Philly.
and they're all going. They're going back to all 3-day shows.
Interesting.
Okay.
So we should see a little bit more
Like a
equipment.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
Yeah.
Or Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I like
They're,
that.
That's good because people
Yeah.
can get out of town
Yeah,
Sunday.
The bigger equipment people were complaining that by the time you set up for a 2-day show and tear down, it's
It makes sense.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's
Makes
hard
sense.
on your
they're
body.
going back to 3-day shows, and they're going heavy into education. They said. I just talked to the powers that be at UPX, and we'll be talking to them about doing some more education stuff next year.
Yeah,
Sweet.
that is awesome.
Cool. Awesome.
I'm out of here.
All right,
Hey,
Lon.
thanks for stopping by.
Bye, Lon.
We'll see you later at the QC Poorhouse.
That was fun.
Well, there's a happy hour first.
Yeah, we're gonna do that
yeah.
happy hour
The
first,
public
and then we're
house.
gonna go to the.
Happy hours at what time?
I'll text you later,
I don't
buddy.
I'll be happy.
Every
That's
hour
Brandy
is happy
party.
hour.
Ask Brandy. She has all the details.
Oh, that.
We've already decided we're gonna take shots with Brandy at the happy hour at that one, and then we're gonna move to the QC Poorhouse.
Do we have more beer?
No.
Yes.
All right, you guys, we're gonna have fun tonight.
No.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
All right, thanks, Lon.
I don't have the.
I don't either.
Okay, we can share.
We're Katie free.
Kitty Queens.
Say, I've got some
Yeah,
too.
cutie
All right,
queen.
so moving on. It's a nice little chat with
It was.
Lon's always
This is
like-
my first time meeting him.
Really?
Yeah.
So Lon is always like a wealth of knowledge, and he's always like super willing to share, and he's just nice. You know, and he never
very
talks
nice.
down to you for not understanding or not knowing certain things within the
he
industry.
respects the process, and
Yeah.
he respects. I mean, he's also has very good intuition. Like he can tell if someone's a good person, and if you are, like he respects. I don't know. Just because someone doesn't know something doesn't mean you look
Right.
down on them. Like they're just in a different part of. Like they probably know some other stuff you don't know. Like everyone has something to contribute, and he's my favorite at valuing what everybody has
Yeah.
to say or do.
We all had the speedball kit, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't print.
No.
We all know this.
I can
You
send
missed
you
out on
one.
that plastic
I'm all set.
squeegee.
Yeah.
And the screens with no tension.
Oh, I could not figure out how to expose those screens to save my life, so I was just making stencils.
Yeah,
That emulsion was difficult
it is.
Yes.
with my 500 watt.
No wonder you didn't know about
Walmart. Yeah, exactly. How it's
Okay, so the next thing on the list that we have is I do have wearable marketing, which is what we talked about with the niche market, and like how you're exploit is the wrong word.
Some people may feel that
Utilizing
way.
concept with sales, but I think what I would like to talk about first
Yeah.
is your hiring moms.
Yes.
Why?
Why? Desperation first. That's how it started.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So, when I got into screen print, I come from a small business family, and so my idea of having oh good. Part of my idea of having my own business was the flexibility to give me the lifestyle that I wanted. Does it always work out? No. But I have this grand idea in my head that I can craft the life that I want to live, and I can be involved in my children's lives until, because they're only with me for a short period of time, and then then they're going to hate me.
You
So,
hope that they're only with you until a short period of time.
Oh,
but
no, they're getting
in
out.
today's economy, they're going to be with you until they're 35.
Just for the record, this morning, Allison told me that I look like $1 million, and I was like, in today's economy, I don't think that's it. I feel like that's a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
That's not great. I look
I
mediocre.
was actually talking shit, yeah.
So I started, when I was at the gym, I started noticing like the moms around me, they were trying to get back into the workforce, but they had these huge gaps in their resume where like they could have had a kick-ass job before they were a stay-at-home mom. But now with this 8-year, 10-year gap in their resume, not many people want to
even look
hire
at
them.
them.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that they don't have great skills.
They're not value. They bring value.
They bring tons of value. So I was like, well, you can fold shirts for me. You can pull them off the press. Like I can teach you how to
That
operate.
they're sick folders.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I fold laundry all day.
Let me tell you, they know how to do laundry.
The amount of freaking clothes in one load, when you have a baby or a toddler,
Mm-hmm.
the amount of clothes in one load is like 5 to 8 times the amount of a grown-up load.
Yeah.
Like the amount of like teeny tiny, because it's like to take
Right.
that space of load.
Yeah, because
so much
the shorts
folding.
are this big.
Yeah.
Allison and I are not living that life.
Yeah.
I know, that's what I'm telling you. That,
We're-
I leave
they're-
my clothes in the dryer. I go to the dryer in the morning.
The dryers are
Put them
dressers.
on.
The dryers
you know
are
what?
dresser.
I take it one step further. I pull them out of the dryer and just leave them in the
Oh, I've got a
bin.
plastic tote on top.
Yeah.
And I just dig through the bin.
Her dryer is by the front door. So what she does is she stays in her jammies until she gets ready to go.
And then I put the jammies in the
She
washing
puts the jammy in the washing machine, grabs her stuff, hits go, and then when she gets home, she switches to the
Perfect.
dryer.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
living by
No.
yourself is incredible.
This is efficient.
I'm living
I love
that,
it.
Yeah, I'm living that old house basement life, so mine's coming upstaive.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. She's got. That's why I wanted to make like it makes sense. So like it's like right by the
Oh
front
yeah,
door.
I hate stairs.
I know. I had a house with stairs like 2 houses ago, and I was like, I always wanted a house with stairs. I'm in
Right.
Yeah.
Florida.
For
There's
For some reason,
like very
that's like the
rare.
American dream.
That's like a house with stairs, like a 2-story, like adorable.
My house is
American.
actually flipped upside down, so the living space is on the second floor.
Oh,
and then
I kinda
bedrooms.
like
Yeah,
that.
it's mid-century,
Beach house style.
modern. Yeah.
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 I'm very jealous.
Yeah.
And I'm
We're
over here just like, give me one level.
we're never
Do you like-
moving because
do
it
you
was a
like-
pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Like
Do you like walk in and it's like a split level, so like the living is down, and then the whatever?
it's just up. It's like the boys' dungeon
not
is
what you're
downstairs.
thinking.
It's just up.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Dungeon, they stay down there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The boys' bedrooms and their bonus room is
So
downstairs.
moms are very good at folding laundry. 'cause
Yes.
They have to fold so much.
So-
and so many weird items. So
Yes.
like even like shirts, probably there's.
So as I was hiring different types of people and stuff, well, I noticed this thing, like I can give you a part-time job and I can hire 2 or 3 moms who need part-time jobs for just extra spending cash and stuff. And these moms were working other people under the table because you know what? A mom can get like 10 hours worth of work done in 3 hours because they need to go
Multitasking,
other
multitasking.
places. And so I started to
Motherfuckers,
note,
right?
yeah.
Multitask like motherfuckers. Like no one can get more done at a time.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's wild.
Every time I try to think like, oh, maybe I'll hire someone else, it never works out because they're so slow.
In the
I can't
interview
take
process,
it.
are you casually like, so, do you have any kids?
Yeah, where do your kids go to school?
No, she skips ahead of that, and like her listing is now hiring moms. She does not.
I put it on my website.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah. I checked out her website.
It kind of turned into it developed from there, and then my moms tell my other moms like, hey, Christy hires moms and she's flexible if you have a play or if your kid's sick or like if your kid's sick during the day,
You've got
just
an
come
army of moms.
come in at night
what
and
our
do
job
your
is.
work. Like you have a key,
Yeah.
like and here's your list, just get it done.
Hell
You know,
yeah.
and you still have a job the next day and you don't have to explain to me what happened with your kid. You
Right.
know, I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, I do care about your kid,
I
but
do care, but like I don't care that you need to miss work
yeah.
because the work is it's more like project based,
Yeah.
I guess. So like something that as long as you complete the project by X time, I don't care
Done.
that you complete
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of bred this loyalty too because my employees are like, well, this job is great because it fits around my
Accommodates.
life and I can have the kind of life I want to live, you know, and still be there for my kids' soccer games, whatever, you know. So that's how the whole mom thing started, and then I always just approach the subject of I don't expect anyone to want to be in screen printing forever. Like just because I love it doesn't mean my employees are going to love it forever.
Right.
So let me teach you how to use a computer because you haven't used a computer besides Facebook in 10 years. You know, like let me show you how to do marketing on Instagram. Let me show you all the skills that you're going to need to go to your next job that you really want after you leave me. People stay. Betsy's been with me for almost 5 years now, you know.
Love Betsy. Betsy is great.
She's no Agnes, but
But you know what? You know what I like about Betsy? We were in your shop the other day, and I saw her setting up a job, and I said, "Oh, I know how to make this easier for her." And seriously, was just like, "Do you have a T-square? Let me show you how you could set this job a little bit easier and not have to worry about it being like lined up properly." And she's like, "I'm ready to learn this."
yeah.
Like she literally was like, "I'm ready to take this information."
Yeah,
there
and
was
she
no
is.
like, "I got this. It's fine." Like, no, it's not fine. I can make it better though.
Yeah. No, and she used to be an ICU nurse.
Yeah.
Highly intelligent.
Right.
Way
and,
overqualified.
And now she's printing my shirts. You know, like how lucky am I?
But you know what?
Yeah.
But seriously though, our days as printers can be really stressful sometimes. If you've got a job on press and it's just not going the way that you want it to go, especially if you're a water-based
You
shop.
know.
Things go wrong all the time, no matter how experienced you are. She's coming from ICU to that. We are a breeze.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Listen,
Like, I think at the end of the day, it's T-shirts, and
Yeah.
I think that
She
makes
still
my
has
life easier.
Yeah.
She still has high stress. It's just that no one dies.
Yeah.
She like
Correct.
can't line
Like
something
yes.
up.
the worst part is dealing with me all day and my high anxiety. You know, like that's it. And she deals me very well. She's like, okay,
Well,
whatever.
that's 'cause when you're not looking. She's
Want some
like,
morphine? Like-
when you're not looking, she's like,
Yeah. Let me give her something.
Sprinkle in a little pressed up Benadryl in your coffee.
yeah, I'll get your coffee.
Yeah, that's my life.
Decaf with Benadryl. That's so funny.
So that's how that's
Like, hey, want
developed.
some gummy bears? You can only have one. They're edible. It's like, I feel great. The shop's going great.
It's great. Anybody want some T-shirts?
Tie-dye. Where's the snacks? So, hiring moms, that's cool. We're the same. Our shop is all women. We used to have one boy, but that I love so much.
Yeah,
went
guys
to
don't
this-
last
he
long
went
in
to
our
this-
estrogen level.
Well, he went to this other shop. He's doing pretty well.
They're okay.
It's like a
Their
break.
shop is okay.
It works for me.
He went to work around. So he's born and raised where we live, so he wanted, and so am I. Like I left for
But he
4
had
years.
to get the hell away from Christina.
Yeah, which is why he texts me all the time. He actually, they printed.
Loves you from
PGM.
afar.
He printed. Well, I'm friends with his mom. I've known him since he was probably like 5, and I was meeting with her to do some stuff for us, like design. She's an amazing artist. And she was like, oh, like let me know if you ever need any help. Like Owen is really interested. Like they're very artsy, like creative family, and they had screen printed at home, like their own shirts, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, we absolutely need someone. So like he came. He was like 18 at the time, or just fresh 19. I'm pretty jealous that Allison is going to get his 21st birthday.
coming up.
Because
Oh,
we
wow.
worked at our shop like for about 2 years. He did like AmeriCorps like, over the summer in Maine. And then he came back and worked for us for a while longer, but wanted to get out of town, and I respect that.
Yeah.
And he had applied somewhere, and I'm like, if you're applying, you need to ask me. Like, let me find a good place for you to
spot.
land. And like, luckily at the time, Allison was hiring, and he landed there, and he's killing it. He actually sent me. They printed PGM for. Do you want to show
so
them
cute.
your hoodie?
Yeah,
Do you
it's
want
really
me to
cute.
get up and show my
Yeah,
hoodie?
here, I'll hold this.
Do a dance. Do a spin.
No, just show the back. What's it say? You gotta put your
It's
foot on, I
really
think.
cute.
There you go.
Can you see it in the camera?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
All right, what does
Pull
it
down.
say?
It says screen printing is not just a boys' club anymore, and then 2 middle fingers. It doesn't actually have
Yeah.
2 middle fingers, but
You can't
mentally
see
it
him. We
does.
printed him in black. The best part is that the boys printed this.
Yes.
Oh no, I loaded them.
Oh, you loaded.
I
Okay.
did load them.
Okay.
Allison said, I've got to load these. This is for my girls. Like,
Well, mostly I was like in a fury because I needed to get them done.
so these will actually be coming to the Shopify store soon. So
Oh, I
everybody
can't wait to get
wants
one.
to
I love
purchase
it.
one. Coming soon.
So
Oh, I
Owen
have
sent me
some in
like a
my car,
text
actually.
with like the emoji like eyes, like look like up the screen
Uh-huh.
with the ink in it. It's like look what we're printing.
cute.
So we hire moms. He's the only mom, but the rest of it, like my mom works at the shop. Just for the record, so everyone knows too, I don't own the shop. I've talked to several people lately, like, we thought you owned the shop. I don't own the shop. Christy owns the shop. I love her, one of my best friends, so I get to work for her. And it gives me the flexibility also to travel. I mostly work from home. I do
Love being an employee.
I love it.
Can I be
great.
an employee?
should love being an
I
employee.
do love being an employee.
I'm an owner right now, and it's an interesting year.
No stress for me.
Yeah. Well,
Are you?
medium
You're an
stress.
employee as well?
I'm an employee.
Oh
yes.
wow.
these are the employee side.
Yeah, we're the owners.
Owners, part
We're
owners.
we're in the trenches this year. Just
why we
saying.
have
Just for the record, our dryer boy quit, and I've spent this entire week. Dryer boy. He was not so hot. And anyway,
I feel like I need a dryer boy.
you do need a dryer boy. And this dryer
Don't
boy.
hire that one.
Like a pool boy, but a dryer boy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a soldier boy joke here.
You're right.
Soldier boy, like
Dryer boy.
Uh-huh.
I think we
Well-
need to make this.
I am dryer boy now, and
you're the cutest dryer boy though.
Our CTS was also broken this week, so I had set up my laptop, my iPad, the computer with the rip on it,
Yes.
and the Epson, all at the end of the dryer.
Oh my
so I
gosh,
could
you
do-
sent me a picture at the
I
end of
could
your
do-
dryer too.
I did.
I could
did.
do my whole job that normally takes me all day anyways, plus printing transparencies, which is like my hell.
Which is our
Catching-
everyday life. Chrissy does that every day. so-
Catching for two presses at the same time. So it was really kind of a lot, and I'm so glad that
Did you get your
the
steps in?
CTS is fixed.
So you had way more on your plate than I did, but the same exact day that you were playing Dryer Boy with all your setup, I sent her a video of me doing the exact same thing. My
Yeah.
video was literally like, here's my laptop, here's the dryer,
I do kinda
here's my
like being dryer
laptop,
boy.
here's the
Dryer
dryer.
boy is an
I'm
alright
dryer boy.
Yeah.
If I could do my other job while also doing it.
You can. You
Yeah.
just have to bring
That's my
everything
point.
to the bin.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do it at my shop because there's no air conditioning. It's 1 million degrees.
Oh no.
My shop has air conditioning.
mean,
humble
Mine
brag.
does too.
I don't have AC either, so I was down there
Yeah, but
sweating it
where-
out with everybody
We
else.
just got a brand new one.
Well, I'm in Florida.
Jealous.
Like
Congratulations
Christmas.
on your
I'm in
very
Florida. Santa brought you an air conditioner.
Christmas.
I'm
Santa
looking,
brought me
yeah.
a 50-ton HVAC unit.
The things we get excited about.
It cost me $40,000.
I was just excited it came before the summer.
Oh, yeah, I bet your employees were too. Betsy was like,
Yeah. I thought she was going to quit when I went out.
I told my boss, I basically gave him an ultimatum. I was like, if this building is not done, I'm not doing one more fucking summer here.
Oh.
And then I did another summer.
You know, I was about to
But now-
say,
now
if
it's
my
Proved him wrong.
if my staff say
You
that to me,
proved
they're
him
going to
right.
have to do another summer.
You proved him right.
I got them a building instead of getting them an HVAC
Yeah,
unit. You know,
that's good, too.
And they could be printing outside.
Yeah.
That's,
I would be quitting.
I think we should move the presses outside. I really think
I-
one day, like, we should just take the
like
press
a little
outside.
bit of bird poop in the screen.
Yeah.
It already happens when you leave your doors
Texture.
open.
It's vegan
It's
printing.
texture.
Yeah.
It's organic.
Yeah, it might add some texture. It might add some gradients into that. You know, you're
I bet
mixing
there-
two different
I bet
colors.
there's a marketing ploy there
Oh,
somewhere.
I
like
wonder
in the
what
80s, it
temperature
was
it
really
cures
popular.
that.
Exactly.
Print with
I
bird
think
shit.
like
Yeah, right.
360.
Puff bird shit.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe
it
if
look
it's
like bird shit?
low
Yes.
pure bird
Like
tooth,
seagull
then
bird shit.
2:30.
Yeah. Mix some
I
additive
love how
in
there's
it.
two different conversations going on here right now.
I know.
The employees over here are having their
We were
conversation.
talking about puff printing bird poop.
That looks like bird poop. And
That
now
was an actual
I immediately
trend in,
want
like,
to
the
make.
So-
I already have like 14 ideas. For
Speaking of puff print, if you find the Carolina Made booth somewhere around here, we actually
101.
101. We printed the T-shirts for theirs, and there's cotton on them, and the cotton's printed in puff.
this. Hey,
Oh, cool.
travel
I'm gonna
back
go
in time and go to booth 101.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do want to talk about the Gildan
Uh-huh.
border decorators.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's Gildan.
Gildan, that is
Like
how you say
Lieutenant
it.
Dan.
So it's not
I think
Gildan.
about every time. No.
There
I
were
said
two.
Gildan.
So how it started and how they got their name. Do you guys know the story?
Nope.
Even if we did, we want to hear it.
The two salesmen that were the first employees were Gil
Oh
and
my
Dan.
God. This is not, you're making this up.
No, true story, bro.
This is too much for me.
Gil and Dan.
Adorable.
And they combined the names together, so that's how you know how to pronounce it. It's Gildan.
I always think of Lieutenant Dan.
That actually honestly really helps my brain pronounce it that way.
It does actually. Yeah.
Gildan.
Gildan?
I just want to call Gil Gilly now.
Gilly.
Gillidan.
Gilly Dan.
Are Gil and Dan still with us?
I don't know. I didn't
okay.
ask that question.
All right.
I thought it
That
was
wasn't-
highly inappropriate
That
to
wasn't a part
ask
of the
them.
border decorator jump in.
Do you guys want me to go find somebody from Gildan here and
They're not
Not
here.
Gildan.
I
There
already
is no
asked.
Gildan here.
Gildan.
Gil Dan.
There you go.
Gil
Lieutenant Dan is the only way I can remember.
So you got on
Gil
the border
Dan.
decorators and they were like, we're going to bring you to beautiful North Carolina. And you were like, I can't wait.
Now let me tell you about
You're
this.
like, I already live here.
So why did you apply? I want to know.
I got an email one day and I was just like, Ev it, send it, and applied. So
I'm pretty sure we all applied.
Yeah.
She
Did
made
you
it to
apply too?
second round.
I
yeah.
made it.
Did
to
you get the interview?
I did the interview.
Okay,
Yeah.
with Orion?
Yes. Oh, yeah. She was super nice.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
Orion.
She
She's
said
our
that
handler.
The candidate pool was like
She's our
really.
handler. Is what we talk. She was called. That's what they call it, a handler.
Because we're just like herding cats.
Yes. I did not make it, but honestly, it probably was good that I didn't make it this year because like that trip to Honduras was like so soon.
Oh, it was so fast.
Right.
And we knew the week before.
And then my
Yeah.
like that week, my life was like living hell anyways at the shop. So I was like, this was not my
has
year.
The universe has your back. That's all
Yeah,
you gotta
for
know.
sure.
Yeah.
Lucky girl. Universe has your back.
So I filled out that email and I was moving during the time. So like I literally
Your
moved
shop or your house?
my house.
Oh.
I moved the boxes into my house and left the next day. And
That's
my
my
fiance unpacked me while I was in Honduras.
Aw.
So
Oh, he's like, keep
Thanks,
Yeah.
Nate.
Everything's in the
Nate.
wrong place, but whatever.
I didn't know where it was supposed to go, so it's fine.
Perfect.
And I just don't care about that stuff, so it's
Me
fine.
too.
Love that.
As long as I don't have to do it.
I like that.
So,
Nate's for.
So I got chosen, had the interview like you did, and
Beat you.
found out.
Beat
I
you.
tried to be my funniest.
That's your mistake.
They said they had a lot of people
Uh-huh.
that tried, that did the
Mine is
interview and all of that. And I didn't think I would get chosen at all because I run a small shop
Right.
in South Carolina. You know, like why choose me? But when they did, my parents thought it was a scam because they legit told me, why would they choose
They're gonna bring you to Honduras. They're gonna break your legs.
Yeah. So,
I mean, if that's not picture of like parents of millennials,
Yeah.
I don't know what is. Like,
Yeah.
you want to know, like, we've survived a million things, all of the economic crises. It's because our parents do shit like that.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, they love us. We know they love us, but then they're like, why would someone ever choose you?
why would Gildan choose
Gil
you?
Dan chose you? Okay.
What do you have to offer?
So
Cool.
at this point, I'm just doing it to spite them.
Hell
you know,
yeah, love
like.
that.
Which is also very millennial.
And then
That's how I function.
So
Strictly
the
out of
day that we were
spite.
supposed to leave, like because I wasn't flying anywhere, they were just sending a driver to my house to come get me.
Oh, because the first stop of the first trip was
Is in North Carolina. Yeah.
Got it.
So, and we hadn't met or anything before this. It was just like, this is the day your flights leave. It was very like hush hush, you know?
Right.
Very scammy.
So all this, I called the day before and I was like, well, when is my how am I getting there? And they were like, oh, we're sending a driver. And I was like, oh, good,
God.
good to know. like,
Like the guy with the sign.
He like puts a bag.
Yes.
He like puts a bag over her head. It's like you can't see where we're going.
Honestly,
he had a suit on, and it was like this stretch Escalade.
No,
And
you're lying.
he picks me up and pulls
Like
in
a
my driveway, and I just like waved to my children
to be on the train, and you just got in a fucking
In a limo?
to drive an hour down the road.
Oh my
It was like right by your shop.
Like a real
Wait, were you? It was only you in the back?
Yes.
Oh my God. Did you have a glass of champagne?
with the driver. No, he just had like water and like crackers.
And so, like, you're looking. Did you sit at the back? And like, yeah, you're just
You know
like
what I
looking.
think
And he like opened the
What's the
door
movie,
for me,
like,
like with
Blank
white
Check?
gloves and
Yeah.
stuff.
This is honestly,
you know
like,
what?
Blank check. when
I've
she-
ridden
when
in
he,
a
like,
stretch
gets in the
Hummer
car
before.
and the limo,
Like
he's,
we did this one
stretches
year
out.
for like a Halloween, I think. We did
Definitely
the stretch Hummer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've done a stretch Hummer before. We did it for Halloween one year. And I'm sitting here thinking of her in the back seat of this stretch by herself. And I'm just imagining the fact that we had one packed full of people. And all I can think of is if I was in that thing alone, I would be like,
And you have
okay,
no
I'm
idea what's
here
about to
now.
happen. You're being driven to a place with
I didn't know
people you've
anybody.
never
You have a
met.
bag over your
I
head.
literally knew
It's very-
nobody.
you know what? It's very mafia.
Yeah.
Gil Dan
Well, you were
might be
murdered.
mafia.
I didn't know. And then in the meantime, I'm like just texting my parents, like, well, this
love
seems
you.
legit. Like, they sent this car for me with a guy with a suit on. Like, I don't know.
Listen, if this is human trafficking, I'm not that upset about it. Like if it's
it's
limos,
comfortable.
like
Yeah. So they drove me an hour down the road, and you know me, like I'm very like low key.
Yes,
so
sure
I
you
would
are.
the whole thing. I was like, seems a little like overkill. I
What are you
don't.
wearing? You're like jeans?
Jeans and a
Oh,
hoodie.
yeah, yeah.
Jeans
Love
and a
that.
hoodie.
was it a Gildan hoodie?
No, of course not.
So then we arrive at this hotel in Salisbury, North Carolina. Check
Where the
in.
steak is from.
Which is a really small town.
Small,
just so
like,
everyone knows.
There's
it's a
probably
very
like
small
100
area.
people there in the town.
But
Yes.
it's where the steak was invented, right? Salisbury steak.
I'm not sure. We should look that up and find out though.
That makes sense.
And so there's nothing to do at this hotel. Like I literally walked laps around the hotel talking to my friends on the phone until I would see people arrive one at a time in these vehicles.
It feels like a murder mystery.
It does, but you know what else it reminds me of is Real World.
Yeah.
Like the person who gets in the
yes.
house first and they're
Yes.
like, oh, well, who are
Uh-huh.
you? Are you
No.
here? Are you?
It was
They should
Are you a
totally.
screen printer?
I feel like they should have sent
Ooh, we
them
should do
like
Real
a
World
shirt
screen
or like
printing.
a hoodie to wear so
Yeah.
you would know.
But they told us, like, they gave us a list of who was on it. So, like, the only people, like, I'd
were
recognized
Googling.
was Dylan and Steve.
It was Steve.
So, like, I'm waiting for them to get there. And then all these other people, I'm like, I think that's what their photo
Matt-
looks like.
Matt went on that
you
trip,
know?
right?
He
Yeah,
was
Matt
the year
did.
before.
Yeah, but he went
Oh,
on this
yeah.
trip, right?
No, he just shows up when we're already at a bar, like, after we're
Yeah,
a
that's
few
classic
in.
That's Matt.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I didn't make the trip last year, but here I am. I'm crashing y'all's party. And we
Sounds
love
right.
Matt.
Which is
Yeah.
very Matt.
Sounds right.
Yeah. So we, like,
Matt Richardson at Relentless.
yes.
An
I'm
angel
Matt.
upon this earth.
Absolutely.
That
But
loves
also,
Chili's.
side note, they're starting,
I mean, I do like Chili's chips and salsa a lot.
but also,
we talking about
he's
hats?
starting a hat company, right?
Atonal.
Atonal.
Oh, yes. Where are they? Why aren't you here, Matt?
It's a big trip for them for not a high. They're like a small,
Yeah.
like not a good, whatever. But you guys should check them out. They are
Atonal headwear on Instagram.
absolutely, but also they have a hat that is the 112, like competitor.
Really?
Which
Yep.
is hilarious. Their last name,
Is
Ian is Richardson. He's Matt Richardson. His brother.
I didn't even think about
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Yep.
Richardson. So they couldn't call the company Richardson Hats. So they're atoning for their sins with their hat company, and they have a hat that is comparable both in price and fit.
Okay, so you're in a hotel. You're trying
Sorry,
to
yeah.
decide who's screen printers.
Sorry.
Yes.
Shout out to
Which,
Matt and Nathan. Gotcha.
this is when I decided all screen printers have a uniform.
Oh,
so true.
Everybody has Vans, a black hoodie, and jeans on.
Yes.
hold on.
correct.
We have
Every
to
single
let's
person.
put all the Vans on the
Oh,
table.
well, you know, I told you the guys the other
Yeah,
day that I
okay.
changed
So
shoes.
she's not wearing Vans anymore because we all kept wearing Vans and she needed something
But they
different.
match the outfit. So.
They do.
But also,
They do.
she told me that they're not comfortable, so
They're
she's
not.
making a
These
sacrifice.
shoes are
for
horrible.
We
They're
are
cute,
all
though.
comfortable in our ultra ranges.
We are looking for a sponsorship
These are
from Vans.
authentic.
Just putting it out there.
So eventually we all decided to go to a Mexican restaurant, and then we walked through Salisbury to find a bar because there are no
Good
Ubers
times
in
on that one.
Salisbury.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So we went on
the
this
limo when you
walk,
need it?
like 8 of the 10 of us, down in Salisbury, and it was like an hour bonding session
Right,
finding a
because-
bar.
because,
Big country
as you know,
was from
I
Salisbury.
like to just go to small towns and try to walk somewhere.
Yes.
Definitely not out of place.
We all blame Dylan because he likes to walk.
It is almost certainly his fault.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only a mile and a half, guys. We got
Yes.
this. An hour later.
Yeah.
For sure.
Pretty much how it went down. So then the next day, they showed us the yarn spinning facility. Then they took us up to Eden, North Carolina, to the distribution center. And then they put us all on a plane and took us to Honduras.
Straight to Honduras.
Straight on. It was all in a week. Like I've never stayed awake that many hours in my life. But Honduras was really cool. We saw sewing. We saw the biomass where they, it's their sustainability project or one of them, where they recycle cardboard and fabric scraps, and then they use that fuel to power all the plants that they have down there. And then we all came back safely. So
You didn't die. Your
Made it
mom
back.
was very
Did
happy.
you guys have a bodyguard while you were there?
we did. Mhm.
Some people
Carlos.
went direct from there though to meet us.
Yes.
In Texas. Was it
Texas
Texas?
It was
Vegas.
it was Fort Worth.
Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Dylan and Steve and even Ryan got stuck in Texas, so he joined you guys too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good time. So logistics of all of that sounds great. I know you have a trip upcoming, but yesterday we talked a little bit about. We started a conversation, and I said, "Please stop talking. We should talk about this on the podcast instead."
She did.
I we were at the
Yeah.
brewery,
Yeah.
and I was like, "No, I want to save this."
Yeah.
for
She
the
just
podcast."
did. She took.
I'm
her
trying to
I
lead.
get.
did. I asked the question, and then Christina
I
was like, "Be quiet."
I did it to Christy's lips.
That's
not
right.
my
Oh,
lips.
I know.
no,
Yeah,
you meant
yeah.
not my lips.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I was
what I
like,
And you probably used a little too much
I don't need
force.
filler anymore.
Gotcha. You're welcome.
We're past that
You can
point.
Venmo me for that cost. What changes? How does your shop look today that it did not look like last year? Like, what
Yeah.
changes have happened to your life because of that?
Okay, so shop-wise, being on the board, and it's such a diverse group of people with diverse print shops, you just
I think that's why Gildan picked, like, right?
yes,
They have
everybody's completely different.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, that's smart of them, trying to get
I'm-
feedback from
yeah.
like different, because a large shop is going to have different.
Yes,
and-
we've got you've got Campus Steve, you've got Dylan. Then
I just like, thank you for calling Campus Steve. My ex-husband is Steven, so I have a hard time. Like when I first met, I had a hard time like just going with Steve or Steven. So like he is one word, Campus Steve.
Campus Steve.
Campus
Campus
Steve. Well, I mean, I rename a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. So
can't
thank
wait to see what you name me.
Uh-oh.
It's gonna have something to do with Snatch. We'll be honest.
So, and then there's Ryan. He's a third generation printer, and Aparna, she isn't from the design world, and she like does these big branding for big name brands, but events to decorate
Pop-ups
apparel.
and-
Yeah,
yeah.
pop-ups.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
she's really cool, and she's got a whole different thing that she's doing than the rest of us,
Right.
you know. And I'm like the mom who is like, I brand myself with wearable marketing for the market. And then Pete in Atlanta, he makes color changing ink, and that's really cool. And then Sharon in LA, she does really high stitch count embroidery. And then there's Jess, and she does DTF. You know, so it's like everyone's doing something different, and we're taking those things from each other and adding to our shop. I added embroidery because I was outsourcing all of that after I got back, because I was like, what the hell, let's do it. Jump in.
Might as well.
And then even Matt Richardson, he was telling me how like his shop, they don't have a firm minimum. Like when they have people that want to do 12 or 24 garments, they just order super colors.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, well, what a great way to serve your customers.
Yep.
Like you're not turning them away, you're just changing the way you do it to make it still profitable for you. And so just those little mindset shifts that you get from other people, that's completely changed my shop. I switched to Monarch Ink. I changed my screens. I've just been connected to so
screens
many
from
people.
You get screens from Frank.
Yes. Well, through Blue Ridge Screen Products, but
Right.
through
Oh,
Frank
through
Screens.
Aaron,
yeah.
We love Aaron and also Frank.
We do.
Love
Love you guys.
So like all of those things have really upped our print game, but in addition to that, it's connected me in the industry where I get to do things like this. I've started a podcast. I'm writing for magazines. I'm speaking on panels.
You're an international superstar.
Yeah.
I love screen printing.
You know what? PGM is still trying to get international. You've gone beyond us already.
So it's just like really fun. It's
Yeah.
made my job fun.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I always think about how crazy everything that like we've gotten to do because we print pictures on t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, obviously, like all of the trips are cool and shit, but even just like I bought a fucking house
Yeah.
because people want pictures on t-shirts.
I know. But I mean, so when you're freaking out, the go-to phrase is like, it's just t-shirts. But
Also,
like
it's t-shirts.
separately, when you're not freaking out, just remember, specifically when you're not freaking out, that like it's such a valuable thing.
It
like,
is.
It helps other people's small businesses become noticeable, and it gets them jobs. Like it is like an important contribution to society.
So what's next?
I don't know. I think that's about it, honestly. I don't have much more. I had we talked about talking a little bit about tenacity because we talked about the pivot that you made during COVID.
Oh, do you want to talk about that?
Sure, yeah, I think it's a great idea because I think that everyone had to make some sort of freaking pivot during COVID. So
Yeah.
how did you stay open and maintain?
Yeah, so COVID was wild for me because January, right before COVID was a thing here, my business partner and I dissolved our partnership. So I was taking on the business by myself. So there was like this excitement about doing something on my own and being able to make decisions by myself for the first time in a business sense. But
I bet that's both freeing and also incredibly stressful.
yes, stressful, scary. Like I usually respond to stress very well. Like just get stuff done, make a plan, go, and like fake it till you make it.
And then freak out when it's over.
Yeah.
That's usually, I'm like really good in the moment, and then when it's over, and then I'm like a puddle.
Yeah. And then within a month, you know, in Charlotte, they were saying doors are closed, nobody is allowed to work. And I hadn't been in business long enough to say like, oh, we're going to print for hospitals or whatever. I didn't know what to do, and our landlord still wanted rent and everything like that. And we had just bought an auto 9 months before then.
Cool.
I was
If it makes you feel better, we got ours 1 week before everything shut down.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So it was just like really scary. At that time, we still had some of the old apparel that we were selling. So like we were just like $10. You know, like just trying to get it out the door as fast as we could because I just had this sense that people were going to be tightening down on money pretty quickly. So I was like, let's sell anything we can. And then like I had about a week where I was like, this can't go on for so long,
Right.
You know? And I think everybody kind of went through that.
It was the initial we're going to close everything down for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but for us, like at that time, we were servicing all gems and races.
Yeah.
All the races started asking me for their money back because, and you know, we were 100% prepay at that point. But like, is it the right thing to do to keep someone's money if there's no race anymore? And the answer is no.
Yeah.
You know,
I actually had a half that I paid for, and they canceled it, and then I had to pay $45 to defer to the next year, and I was pissed because I had already spent, it was like $100 I had spent on that half, and now like I was $150 in the hole, and now I had to stay fit enough to run it for a whole other year.
During COVID, we're like at home eating, drinking.
So like all my gem clients, my core base like was not ordering shirts. Yeah,
it
a lot
was
of them
fucked
did
up
that
on their part,
Yeah.
I think.
It's real fucked up. Trying to stay open, but whatever.
So at that point, you're like, okay,
I don't run.
if I'm going to stay in business, like, or you either just stop and shut your doors, you're not going to be in business anymore, or you have to pivot. So I just noticed all these moms, like in my Facebook group and stuff, like they were all miserable trying to figure out what to do with their kids all day. So we made this at-home tie-dye kit, like be your kid's art teacher, because all I had to buy at that point was white t-shirts to put in these boxes, and I made like a cute little branding on canva.com. and made videos of me and my kids tie-dyeing shirts, and we paid rent for the whole COVID shutdown
That's
on
awesome.
tie-dye
Wow,
kits
that's
and just
amazing.
pushing those.
Awesome.
That's super awesome.
So that was kind of our pivot, but then it taught me at that point, like, hey, don't put all your eggs in the gym basket, because all those gyms that were our clients were closed for 6 months in North Carolina. Like, nobody's buying t-shirts. So it it really lit a fire under my tail to expand.
Yeah. I mean,
Into
we've talked
new
about,
markets.
like, it made us learn about different blanks. Like, we just had our go-tos that we ordered, and then we had to
right.
be like, what else should we use? What else is there if we can't get it? I think that we talked a little bit about, like, tenacity and, like, smart, stubborn, I think is what. So, like, we talked about when to know to keep going. And then what contributed to that, we talked a little bit about community.
Yeah, I think one, it's just stubbornness and
Cool, check, got it.
yeah, stubbornness. I really didn't want to fail. I really didn't want to fail at something that, my people were telling me this wasn't a career that people really wanted to be in. Like, I wanted to prove people wrong, because I believe in wearable marketing and decorate apparel so much. Like, I didn't want everyone else to be right that I was going to fail at this. So it was just kind of
You were
like
smart about it.
pull myself up and do it, and like expand in different ways and find new customers and talk to more people about like what their true needs were, instead of me just assuming what my customers' needs were. And then also just raising my prices and not taking everything that just walked through the door, or
We've talked about this several times, like when the shift from saying yes to everything to like learning to say no to what's not for you.
And then finding the confidence to say like, hey, this is what I'm worth because I put in the time. Like, I know what is the best blank for you.
Yeah.
I think there's something in that, and just being confident, because people will want to spend more money for something they can get down the street a lot cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely.
So stubbornness, and then I'm just a big like gut feeling person. Like,
I love that.
even though everyone was around me was saying don't go to Honduras, don't
Don't get in that limo with the bag on your head.
Don't get in the limo. I was like,
It's a freaking limo.
I'm
Getting in the limo.
I'm getting in, like YOLO,
Yeah, we're all going on this Nashville trip, and there's still almost no details that's been released about it.
True.
But we're going.
I'm pretty sure they're
Hey.
going to take my kidney, but I got two
I
of
have
them,
a
baby.
flight. I have a flight.
Just don't take both.
Just saying. My flight is scheduled. I'm going to Nashville. I don't know about
Just
you
don't
guys,
take
but
both kidneys.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Leave me one.
And I was
If you take the liver, like leave a part of it.
I was listening to the Printavo podcast about pricing the other day, and I don't remember if it was Steven or Bruce talking about like screen printers by nature have to be a little bit of a gambler.
For sure.
I think I
100%.
am.
Yeah.
Okay, the best part about that though is that
I am not.
like when we go to Vegas and Atlantic City, like I don't want to be,
Nope.
Really?
but
Oh, I love it.
But Allison and I did spend like 6 hours instead of the casino. I think it's just because it's not engaging for me. We were in the arcade for like 6 hours.
As it turns out, we're actual children.
We literally are. We were for 6 hours. But the best part about that, honestly, was that we won like 10,000 points or like they don't do
tickets,
ticket.
like-
They don't do tickets. They put
Yeah,
on a card
right.
now. So we did the card. And I got to bring home a bunch of like random shit for my kids instead of buying them airport stuff. So like we had a good
Meanwhile,
time.
I won $40 playing roulette, and I forgot to cash out my little paper thing. So I do it in my wallet over there right now. Have a slip for $40
So next
for the
year.
next time I go to
Yeah.
Atlantic
Atlantic
City.
City. Atlantic
Next year,
City.
yeah.
Perfect.
Cool. So I think that's probably
Yeah, that's probably about it.
Our time.
Do you have anything,
Cool.
do you have anything that you want to talk about?
No,
Any questions or anything?
this is good.
No?
Like, follow me at Snatch and Run or Last Call for Plastisol, and you'll see my face all the time.
awesome.
Yeah, I think that was it. We had, we did talk about like how PGM could be like the avenue for community and support, like you had.
Yeah.
And with the Guild and Board of Decorators, I think that anyone should apply. I think that it gives
Yeah,
them-
absolutely. It is such a diverse group of people, and they're looking for that every year. So don't think like because you don't have 50 autos or whatever, like that you don't qualify. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for people on social media that have a story and that are passionate about what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, ultimately, they're trying to contribute to the industry, which I love, but I think they're also looking for that feedback that we have been like, how do we tell them that this is a problem? And so I think that they're looking for a variety of people to provide that feedback. So
Awesome.
Well, thanks guys for having me
Yeah,
on.
thank you for coming. We appreciate you being on this.
I know usually we went with the cheers, but we drank all the beers.
Oh my god.
I just
All right.
really want to.
I was nervous about.
Yeah, no, it's fine. They're all kind of like empty, but
Now I need to be. Where's my bowling pin?
yeah,
You have a bowling pin?
Bowling
ball.
yeah. I just
correct
really
about
needed
that.
that.
It turns out my brain doesn't know how to make words with my mouth.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, so
Well, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
Until
Yeah.
next time.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, I guess. Awesome.